Hiya, I'm that James Wisdom, and today I've got a Kickstarter unboxing for you of mint condition comics from Neat Games. So hello there, today in the post arrived mint condition comics that I backed on Kickstarter a little while ago. This is a neat game about comic books. It's a card game. It's a card game where you're basically trying to collect the most valuable collection of comics by the end of the game. It should be relatively short. It's from the same people that made Too Many Poops. If you haven't checked that video out on this channel, you can see an unboxing of that. There will also be a how to play going up in the not too distant future as well. But this arrived today, so I thought I would just crack right on and unbox it, show you what's inside and have a little bit of a talk about the game while I'm doing so. So let's head over to the table and we'll do that now. Okay, so here it is. This is Mint Condition Comics, a neat game about comic books from Neat Games. This game, as you can see on the side here, is 30 minutes, 2 to 6 players for 10 plus. If you look at the back, you can see that this is mostly cards. There's a few other tokens and components in here, but mostly it's going to be cards in here. So now the cards are all created with unique artwork. I saw all of this artwork on the Kickstarter when I backed it. It's really nice looking, and as you can see here, it says features 27 unique comic book covers. So that's about it. That's all we need to worry about for the box. So let's just get straight into it now. So I'm just going to take my knife. I'm just going to slice down the side here. There we go. Get in. Hopefully it's less shiny now. You can see it's got kind of UV on some of this stuff. It's quite a nice box. Same size as the one for Too Many Poops. So it'll go with your Too Many Poops if you got that. Let's pop that open. And then on the top, first things first, we have the comic books themselves. So this actually lists them all off. So we've got the sort of superhero Captain Impossible. We've got this kind of cutesy Breakfast Club one. We've got these Japanese ones. I don't know what that says. It does say on there. Can't remember now. Then you've got some more on the back. You've got Malware, which is more the kind of thing you see from like a Vertigo comic or something like that. Grimm's, the grim dark type deal. And then Kids with Powers, which is again more superhero stuff, but more like a Teen Titans. But that's kind of cool because it actually gives you a little bit of flavour for each of the comics. So, you know, you've got each issue and then what the story is in each issue. So that's kind of fun. And it gives you an idea of all of the art that's going to be in here. Then you've got the instructions. Now, the instructions, relatively straightforward. That's it. That's the entire of the instructions. I won't go through all of the rules here, but I will go through that potentially in another video as well. I'm sure there will be kind of the quick turn guides, and we'll run through those while we're in here as well. On top, we've got our token for the hot comic. Now this is sort of randomized, I believe, within the game, and that one gives you extra victory points if you collect the most of that comic. You've got the mint condition comics thing here. I think this might be the first player token. I'm not really sure. I'm sure it says what it is somewhere in here, but I can't see it right this second. And then the rest of it is just the cards. So you can immediately see that these are cool looking cards. Let's just take out the Captain Impossible cards and just immediately start with those. There we go. Right, so they have got this little tearing thing. I just couldn't find it for ages there. There you go. Goodbye that. Goodbye that. And then let's have a quick look through the cards. So this is issue 5 of Captain Impossible. Issue 6. 3 copies of issue 6 there, and then we've got 1 copy of Malware 1, 2 copies of Malware 2, 1 copy of Malware 3, Captain Impossible issue 2, and you can see as you go through these, sorry, they've got this C, which I believe is common, then you've got U, which is uncommon, so I'm guessing the other deck here is going to have more common cards in. But you can see there's Malware there, got Captain Impossible again, more Captain Impossible, more Captain Impossible. Captain Impossible seems to be pretty common. Grimm issue 3, common card. Grimm issue 4. Captain Impossible issue 1, which is worth an extra 2 victory points. Breakfast Club. Now the Breakfast Club ones are really cute. I like those ones a lot. Again, issue 4 there. There's issue 1, another 2 victory points. I'm guessing issue 1s are going to be rarer and have more victory points just across the board. Maybe not. This is uncommon, so these 2 Japanese ones, there's 2 of each of those, and they are uncommon cards. Breakfast Club number 1, again, this is a rare, so that's worth 2 victory points. Uncommon, uncommon, common. Uncommon for Malware. 4. Issue 4, Malware is common as well. Issue 5 is common as well. Kids with Powers, another rare card with 2 victory points. And then number 2, Kids with Powers, which is uncommon. So you can just see there's quite a lot of kind of neat looking cards. Next set here just looks like it's going to continue from where that one left off, so we can get in more quickly this time. There we go, found the tab. Easier that way around. And then we've seen that one already. And then we've got more Kids with Powers. Issue 3, uncommon. Issue 4, uncommon. Issue 5, uncommon. Common, sorry, not uncommon, common. And then we've got anthologies. Now, I hadn't seen these cards. I don't remember these cards. So these anthologies. Oh, I guess these count as any missing issue. Yeah, it says it on the card. Anthology uses any missing issue in this series. So there's one sort of wild card there for each of the series. Now, that's a nice idea. I like that. I like the idea of doing that. Now we've got our free comics when taking a discard. So these are the sort of power cards you can use. And there are those rare comics, single issue run of Stella. And that gets you 4 victory points just for getting that comic. And then you've got special powers. So each of the players will get a different special power card. So again, this mixes up the gameplay a little bit. So look at all 3 piles before deciding which one to take. Don't add cards. During your trade phase, take 2 trade actions instead of 1. During scoring, count this power as your choice of an issue 4, 5 or 6. Whatever that means. Absorb power, copy another player's already revealed secret power. During your trade action, treat your comic as if it were a rare comic. Swap any one comic from the pile you're looking at with one comic from your collection. For your trade phase, take a common comic from the comic shop. Deception, in addition to your trade action, swap any comic from your collection with one in the comic shop. At the beginning of a round, draw a second round bonus. This bonus only applies to you. At the end of your turn, choose a loose comic in your collection. That comic cannot be traded. Add all comics this turn to your collection face down. Don't reveal them until scoring. Instead of taking a pile, look at the top 4 cards of the draw deck and add 2 to your collection. So those are kind of neat powers. There's a lot of them there. I know they added quite a few throughout the Kickstarter there with having people kind of vote on different new powers or suggest different new powers. Then you've got different, what are these cards? Bonus round or round bonus cards, which were mentioned in one of those powers. These are pink. So you've got Scattered Collector, the most loose comics in their location, gets plus 6 victory points. Humble Collection, the least total comics in their collection, gets 6 victory points. Player with the most duplicated issues in their collection gets 6 victory points. Diverse Collection, the most sets containing at least 3 different issues. That player gets 6 victory points. Fanatic Collector, the most issues of the same series, including duplicates, which is a plus 4 victory points. And the most total comics in their collection is plus 4 victory points. These tell us the victory points for collecting issues. So for Malware, if you've got 1 issue, you get no points. 2 issues, you get 1 point. 3 issues, you get 5 points. 4 issues, you get 10 points. And 5 issues, you get 18 points. Captain Impossible, because there are 6 issues of that series, you get more scores if you get all 6. 1 comic equals 0. 2 comics equal 1. 3 comics equal 4. 4 comics equal 9. 5 comics equal 16. And 6 comics equal 25 points. It's quite a lot. Kids with Powers, I believe, is the same as Malware. Yes, so they're exactly the same, those two. I won't go through it again then. Grim, only 4 issues. So having all 4 gets you 12 points. Breakfast Club, same again. The Japanese comic, 2 issues, so 8 points if you get both. And then here are our turn order cards, and then the setup card as well. We'll have a look at the setup card first and I'll come back to these. So the setup is based on the number of players. So you remove this many cards from the draw deck. 5 or 6 players, you use all the cards, and then less for others. Number of comics in the comic shop is increased for more players and reduced for less players. So the setup will be slightly different depending on the number of players you've got. I like that this is 6 players. One of the things that I found really frustrating about Too Many Poops is it was only 4 players and it felt like it would have been more fun with more players. So I think this will be more fun with more players as well. Clearly it's intended really for 5 or 6 players. I would imagine that this is going to be most fun with 4 to 6 players. So let's have a look at the kind of the play order, what you can do here. So the first thing you do is you can trade comics. So you may perform a single trade action, one of these 2 things. You've got a trade with the comic book shop, which allows you to trade any 2 for 1 or 1 for 2 of a lower rarity. So if you've got something that's, say, an uncommon, you can trade it for 2 commons. So you can also trade with a player. You trade any one of your comics for any one of somebody else's loose comics of the same or lower rarity. So if you desperately want the last issue of Captain Impossible and it's a common card, you can get rid of one of your other cards and take it from somebody else. The next thing you do is you pick your piles. So there will be 3 piles in the comic shop in the center, which will all be face down, and you look at the last pile and keep it or pass on it. So either you keep the pile and you keep all the comics in it, or you pass. If you pass, you then add more cards from the main deck to that. You add 1 more card to that deck. So the next player that's looking at it is going to get the possibility of getting more cards from that pile. And then you can go through each of those 3, and if you don't want any of them, you draw just 2 cards from the main deck. You add those cards to your collection, and then the idea is you keep those collections together. So add kept cards to your collection, form sets of unique numbered issues or same series where possible, and keep loose comics spread out. Now you keep your loose comics spread out so that people can take them from you. So that's it. It's relatively straightforward, and I guess you just play that until the game ends, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins. So there you go, that's everything that was in the box. This should be quite a fun game to play by the looks of it. I really like the idea of collecting comics as a mechanic for a game, and I really like that they've given us all of these different comic books with different themes and everything, with different issues and different covers, and the art is all really lovely as well. So I think that helps quite a lot with this game. Really, that's the main thing you're getting into here, is some fun art, a nice concept, and hopefully a quick, easy to access kind of game. So let me know what you thought of this game in the comments down below. I really like it. I'm looking forward to playing it properly. I'll put up a how to play video on this channel pretty soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. So keep smiling, thank you very kindly, and I hope you come back for more.